Well, hello there. I hope you are doing really well today. In this video, I am going to be examining 4 different types of brushes, 3 of which have bristles, and 1 of which has feathers because it's a feather duster. Anyways, moving right along, I am going to be examining and trying out each of these brushes and attempting to evaluate whether or not these brushes would be effective in locating and helping to lift fingerprints off of various surfaces. So the first one, as you can see here, on the right-hand side of your screen, is an actual fingerprint lifting brush. Now I am doing what is called dusting for fingerprints. Now you wouldn't use it like you would normally use, let's say, a paintbrush or another type of bristled brush. What you want to do is apply it to various surfaces, like I've just tapped here. And there is a small black plastic handle, and one edge of the black plastic handle is flattened for easier grip and easier control. And as we can see here, all that is needed is a swift, deft, slight motion on the keyboard or whatever surface you're trying to lift prints from, and you just graze the surface. Now, normally there's sort of a fingerprint dust. It's kind of like a powder that's not applied here, obviously, in this video, because the powder can prove to be very, very difficult to remove from surfaces. So here I am using the actual fingerprint dusting brush without the accompanying powder that would be used at a scene where real fingerprints are trying to be lifted. Not that the fingerprints that are currently on this keyboard aren't real, of course, they're my fingerprints. So this little brush has very, very, very fine and numerous bristles, and they're arranged into the base of the handle very tightly. Kind of like a brush that has a lot of hair, but the hair that the brush does have is very thin. Kind of like my hair. Is your hair thin or thick? Is there a lot of it? Maybe you're going bald. I actually don't know. So, as you can see here, this brush is characterized by ease of use, and it is also very, very lightweight. It can get into those crevices and edges, as you can see here on the left-hand side of the screen, kind of just gently grazing the surface or the sides of the area that you wish to identify and lift a print from. It also kind of makes a nice, soft, swooshing sound. And the brand name is Zephyr Fingerprint brush, and these can be obtained off of Amazon, about $20. And I always put the fingerprint brush back in the tube. Moving on to our only non-bristled brush of today, I introduce the feather duster. Now this feather duster is red and black, also very lightweight, although not as small and compact as the professional fingerprint brush. It also makes a slightly more satisfying sound, as we can see demonstrated here, as the plumage grazes lightly on the keys themselves, the letters, the numbers, the function keys, even the surrounding area. All getting a good dusting today. And again, we're not going to be testing this out using fingerprint powder, because fingerprint powder can prove to be very difficult to remove and very messy. So again, we're gonna go ahead and leave that out. Now this is a very lightweight brush, but not small. It can be very clunky. As you can see here, fairly large handle. And I wanted to try this particular brush out, not only to see if it would be efficacious in identifying latent prints. Also, I wanted to see what kinds of sounds this brush will make. As you can see, it's rather delightful. From right to left. From right to left. Right to left. I would also note that it is important to wear gloves when you are at a scene where you are searching for latent prints. You don't necessarily have to be wearing blue satin gloves. You can wear nitrile gloves or latex gloves. It can be white, it can be blue, it can be black, pink. I mean, who wears pink latex gloves to the scene of a purported crime? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just used to seeing the blue type gloves, and I do see the black gloves quite a lot. Today, for mostly aesthetic purposes, I have donned a pair of blue satin evening wear type gloves. So I really, really do like the swooshing sound that this feather duster makes. And of course, I've been working with the feather duster for many years now. And of course, I am able to dust shelves, cabinets, and especially keyboards. I started out only being able to dust about 6 words a minute. Now I can dust at the incredible speed of 240 words per minute with 99.998% accuracy. I wonder if the Guinness Book of World Records knows about this. Probably not. I just kind of find it interesting, the different types of records that can be broken, like how many jars of mayonnaise can one person eat with a tablespoon? It's kind of nasty. Again, I'm getting off topic. Here again, wearing the lovely blue satin evening gloves, I have once again produced the shaving brush. I have not personally used this brush as I don't shave my face, but it is particularly useful for those that do. Again, this particular brush does strike me as the kind of a brush that is very coarse. There are a lot of hairs, but the hairs themselves are very thick, and as you can see, very sort of rigid, standing vertically instead of sort of flopping around the way the professional Zephyr brush does. As we can see, there wouldn't be a lot of attention to the difficult to reach places on this particular keyboard, for example. You wouldn't be able to catch any sort of partial print left on the outside edges of the actual keyboard or on the outside edges of individual keys, whether they be the function keys, the number keys, or the letter keys. Not to mention, if you were to, say, try and dust those eyeglasses in the upper right-hand corner, you would likely scratch the lenses. And it's very difficult to remove a scratch in eyeglasses, if not completely impossible. Don't apply this brush to glass, especially prescription glasses, including prescription sunglasses, which I think actually everybody ought to have. I think that prescription sunglasses should be classified as almost a need or a human right, you know. Our eye health is just as important, let's say, as our dental health. The health of our feet, super important. Once again, I am unfortunately straying off topic. So this brush would not get top marks from me because of its propensity to leave behind scratches. its coarseness of fibers. Also the propensity for this brush to literally remove the fingerprints that we are supposed to be looking for in the first place. And also there's not a lot of specificity in terms of its ability, let's say, to reach in between these keys. But it certainly does provide a very pleasing sound. I might dust this keyboard if it ever needed it with this particular brush, since I don't use this brush for shaving. I might dust a wooden table. No, you could even get down on your kitchen floor if it needs sweeping. You could, tape this to the end of a pole and use it as a broom. Why not? I like brooms. I like brooms a lot. I'm wondering if a broom could be used as a fingerprint duster. I'm gonna guess that it's somewhere between, in terms of its efficacy, I think it's probably somewhere between this item and a toothbrush. Too coarse. And it would probably not lead to anything effective in terms of results and being able to pinpoint with any reasonable degree of accuracy latent print.